Hi cuties, besties, and ghosties. This is Muertera and this is my channel, Muertero. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Really grateful to have you here. This is really exciting for me. I'm very excited for today's reading. We are going to dig into future predictions for February 2023. This is a timeless reading, so this can work in any future Februaries as well as any months in the future as well, just to get a peek into the energies that are upcoming for you. I've already shuffled out one oracle card and put a stone on top of it. So we'll have a chance to take a look at the stones in the pick a card section, so you can figure out which pile you're drawn to. And just to give you a quick outline for the reading, so these oracle cards are going to show the overall energy in your life, and then we are going to dig into two different areas in this reading, one for career and finances, and then one for love. So we'll pick oracles for those two different sections, and then we'll get into the tarot for each of them, and then we'll finish out advice. So some advice for your love life, some advice for your career and finances, and then also just overall advice depending on the energy that came out in your oracles. So really excited for it. If you need a little bit more time to pick a card, then definitely join me in the pick a card section, where we will chat a little bit about the crystals and their corresponding energies, and then I'll also play a meditation bowl for you, so you can hang out a little bit and feel into the different energy of the piles. So hope to see you either in the pick a card section or directly in your reading. See you soon. Hi friends, welcome to our pick a card section. So let's get started with our first pile. I have a piece of quartz. It's a really beautiful piece of quartz. There's some variation in it. It's not clear. It's a cloudy piece of quartz, which I actually like better for kind of cleansing properties. I feel that clear quartz can be really high vibrational sometimes, and when it's a little bit cloudier, it's better for clearing out energy for me. So this is a really cute little guy, definitely a little pocket size. Clear quartz is really great, again, for cleansing, for getting you to the core of a subject, for really honing in on what's important to you, what is in your path in terms of like the highest vibrational choice. So if you're making choices, or you are trying to figure out where your path is, this can really help you connect to your highest timeline, highest good. Our second pile has a piece of really beautiful red jasper. Red jasper is a really grounding, beautiful stone. It can help you tap into your heart's desires, your passions. It's also a very, very earthy stone. It's the color of blood, so it can help you get really, really grounded and tap into your root chakra. And is just really great for protection and grounding in general. Okay, our last crystal is a piece of lapis lazuli, and this stone is really amazing for helping to connect your heart and your throat chakra. So heart, mind, throat. I find it a really useful stone to communicate with my guides as well, especially in dreams. But it is really a stone about communication, really being able to take your thoughts and your feelings and be able to speak them into the world. So that is lapis for you. So I'm going to play you a singing bowl for a few moments, and then we will get into your readings. Okay, friends, thank you so much for sticking with me through this, and I will see you in your reading. Bye. Hi, Pile One. If you chose the quartz crystal, this little friend here, this is going to be your reading. So, the first card we're going to look at today is your oracle. So, I think this is a little cute that we picked a crystal that's pretty close to the egg that's in the middle of the healer. Um, Snakes for me are about intuition and about going within. So I think that this is really a time for you to take a look at the progress that you've made towards your own healing in your life. This card talks about how healers really thrive in finding themselves through forgetting. So know that we're born, we forget our purpose here, and really our purpose in life and living on this earth is to come back and figure out why we came in the first place. And part of it is forgetting and finding yourself again. So I think this is a really beautiful energy. I think for some of you, it really is a reminder that healing is not linear. And so if you are running into roadblocks and you feel like, you know, you've made a lot of progress and maybe you've kind of slipped back into old habits, or are uncovering layers of yourself that you didn't even realize existed, this is kind of a reminder saying this is natural, this is normal, it's a normal part of life, and we're always discovering things about ourselves. And the most important part is, you know, even if you find yourself in a situation that you've been through before, you are different. And so you're going to handle it different. You're not stuck in it, and you'll be able to move past it more quickly. It's just a matter of being able to spot those situations or patterns earlier on, and I think you're well equipped to do that. So really cool energy. Love the energy of the healer. I'm going to move this little crystal out of the way, and I'm going to pull one more oracle for your energy for February 2023. What's happening? Okay, that's two, but Spirit always extra. I'm always getting more cards than I ask for. But you know what? Like, I don't do what I'm told either, so I shouldn't expect that out of anybody else. So the two cards that we have coming out here are Surrender to the Sweetness, Pleasure, Joy, Make Love to Life, Venus energy. And the second one is Wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. So I think this speaks a little bit to the impatience of your healing journey. Like maybe you are feeling right now that you're ready. Like you've been working on yourself. You've been working on healing yourself, figuring out what your patterns are and resolving them. And I do feel like there is a little bit of an impatient energy here. Like you have expectations that you should be further along, or you should be kind of reaping a specific benefit from the self-work that you've been doing. And I think this is the universe reminding you that, again, healing is not linear. And it's not so much about the destination as it is about the path there. So it's important to have goals, and it's important to understand where we want to go because it gives us direction. But the future isn't the present, and the present is all we have in this moment, right? Like we can prepare for the future in this moment, but we can't actually ever experience the future. And when we experience the future, it's going to be the present. It's kind of a trippy way to view time, but I think this is really telling you that all you have right now is the present. So yes, the future is important. Yes, your healing is important. Yes, you want to get to a certain place, but it's really about the journey, and it's really about being able to sit with yourself in this moment and appreciate the beautiful things that you have around you. Because I do think that there are a lot of beautiful things around you. I think you've worked really hard and you're creating the life that you really want for yourself. And your spirits just want you to know that you're on the right path, you are moving in the right direction, and they want you to be happy with where you are now because they're really happy with where you are now. They're really proud of you. And good things are coming. It's going to take some time. So the best thing you can do is be really, really, really happy and satisfied with where you're at and keep at it. And eventually you're going to get to the place where you want to go. Okay. Now I'm going to pull two more cards to give kind of your overall energy for career and finances, and then love as well. So we'll do career on the left and then love on the right. Okay, my spirits, what can you tell me about pile one's career and finances in the next month? Two cards again. Okay, we'll take them. So we have the octopus and the tiger in reverse. Okay, my muertos, what can you tell me about pile one's love life in the next month? Man, that tiger is giving me some third eye vibes right now. And I know sometimes we don't like cards in reverse, but I do like the octopus and the tiger both have these inverted triangles. Okay, here we go. Okay, and in your love life, we have dragon in reverse. Okay, so let's start with career and finances. We are going to just kind of dig into this overall energy, and then we'll pull a couple tarot cards as well, just to, and maybe we'll do that now, just to get a little bit more clarity. We're going to use the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot because I'm obsessed with this deck. It's definitely my favorite ever. Okay, woo, let's take that one. Okay, so we have Hungen. In this deck, this is the King of Swords. We have Gros Bon Ange, which is the sun and kind of like universal love. And then we also have Guide le Flambeau. This card comes out in literally every reading I do. It's kind of funny. And that is the Three of Wands. Okay, so what I'm seeing for your career and finances is that you're really learning how to tap into your own inner fire and passion. One thing that I kind of want to like touch on first though is like these oracle cards up here. So I think right now you are in the octopus energy and you're kind of moving into the tiger energy. The tiger energy, I think, is your goal. I think that's part of your healing process and where you want to go. And I see your reversals in these positions, not as blocked energy, but as future potential energy, kind of depending on how you make decisions and how you choose to do your healing. The octopus talks a lot about really like shaky boundaries, overextension of self. Like the octopus, if you look, I mean, I think everybody knows that octopuses have many arms, but these arms are reaching out, and it's really about kind of extension of self. I'm also called to mention that octopuses are very intelligent, and I think that ties in down here with the King of Swords being here. I do think that you are a very intelligent person. I think that you also have a really high degree of emotional intelligence as well. And that's something that really is heightened with a healer. Like you've really tapped into those energies and have done a lot of self work. However, I do think that at times you struggle a bit with to knowing when to like put your opinion into the mix and when to hold back. I think when we go on our journeys, we learn things about ourselves, and we learn things about maybe a better way to be, or better ways of looking at situations. Sometimes we can get a little bit like overzealous about sharing that with the world. I think that in this case, because it's in your career and finances area, there might be times when your opinion isn't necessarily valued like you think it should be at work. And this is spirit saying that like not all of your battles are battles for you to fight. So like if you're going to speak up and you're going to make your opinion known or make a suggestion, make sure that it's really in line with your highest good. Like use that King of Swords energy to really sit back and decide, like, is it even worth it? You know, there's a lot of times that we'll give advice or put our opinion into the mix when that opinion might be valid, and it might be actually like, if the person was willing to receive it, it could potentially be really impactful for them. But that doesn't guarantee that that person's actually ready to receive it. So I think in terms of career and finances, Spirit is really telling you, like, you have a lot to offer, but it's almost better for you to just, like, leave some things up to the universe. Like, this Gros Bonange, it kind of looks almost like the little tentacles of this octopus. And in every single little tendril here, there's a little baby. It's like there's a sun, and there's everybody's individual destinies coming out of the sun. And I think this is really showing you that like you can extend yourself in so many ways. However, everyone is on their own healing journey. So it's much better for you to actually focus on your own healing as opposed to trying to share it with the world. And I think that's part of the reason why your spirits are saying, hey, wait, just chill. Like, focus on you. Don't worry about healing the world. Don't worry about extending yourself outward. Really, what you need to do is you need to work on your tiger, fierce, courageous energy. You need to stand in your own power and really be very confident in that before you extend that out to everyone else. Because really what ends up happening is, you know, you give unsolicited advice. It's not welcome. And then you get really frustrated because people aren't listening, or, you know, like you want to share this, but it just gets frustrating because you're sharing it with people who don't necessarily want that advice, or just really are not at the place in their healing journey where they're going to understand it. Like, you're over here, you're the healer, and they're these little babies just taking little tiny baby steps. And so they're not going to understand like your view of this cosmos. You know, like you're hanging out here in the universe looking down at the world. And this person is also elevated. There's someone else swimming in the water, and this girl is elevated looking down. I feel like you're starting to get this perspective. And the most important thing for you right now is to focus on internalizing that perspective and your own growth, as opposed to sharing it externally with the world. I think the Three of Wands just really emphasizes this. If this card is a lot about passion in this Voodoo Tarot, and in the Rider-Waite, it's about a person standing up on a bluff and looking out and watching the ships come in. And there's a lot of energy of somebody just standing back and watching. And I think you standing back and watching, as opposed to being as active maybe as you normally would be, is really going to help you in your career. And that doesn't mean don't speak up ever. I would never say that to somebody. But I think it means being in that King of Swords energy, and really being very discerning about when you're speaking up, especially when it comes to people's personal lives at work. Like, maybe you want to be a little bit more hands off with the personal life conversations in the next month, and just kind of keep your opinions to yourself a little bit, and just use your voice to really, give amazing feedback that's just a little bit more work focused, as opposed to giving people advice about their personal life. Sometimes I can get you into some issues at work. I don't see a lot of huge issues about this. I think this is just a reminder for you, to really use your power and your drive for your own healing and growth, as opposed to focusing on other people. Okay, so let's pull a couple cards for your love life. Okay, Spirit, what can you tell me about Pile 1's love life in the next month? So we have the Nine of Wands. I just heard you're going to be grinding a little bit. And I'm seeing that a little bit in the Dragon as well. As I mentioned, I think this is kind of future energy for you. The Dragon is really about going within, and understanding one's ego. Okay, that's the Death card, but that is too many cards. So we can just keep transformation in mind. Here we go. Magic Mirror. Okay, so I think in the next month, to be perfectly honest, I'm seeing that your love life is going to be a little bit quieter. I think there's going to be a lot more activity going on in your career and finances front. I'm also noticing that the two pieces of advice that I pulled for you here, the surrender to the sweetness is on the left side towards career and finance. And your card that says wait is on the right side towards love. So I think focusing on the good things that are happening in your career, as opposed to like being disappointed that maybe things aren't as active as you'd like them to be in the next month, is really going to help you stay in your healing journey, and also find positivity and gratitude and kind of joy in life. Like, there are really good things that are happening for you, even if it's not this one in particular. So the reason why I think that this is really going to be a time of more like introspection and growth, is we have the Dragon here, and the Dragon is about going within and getting in touch with one's ego and inner life and self. And I don't mean ego is in like a negative ego term. It means like who you are as a person in this life. And being able to separate like your baser desires from your higher spiritual truth. When we get down here into the tarot, we have the Nine of Wands, and this card in this deck is also about interconnectivity. So Nine of Wands is like, you've been in this battle, you're kind of drained. You're really not reaching the end, but you're going to keep going. And I feel like your healing journey has not always been easy. And looking at these cards, they're probably this, I want to say couch. I don't know how to say this word. We're going to call this the card of initiation, but this is the Hermit in the deck. And so with these two cards combined, I think it has been really difficult, and you have been in a period where there hasn't been much going on in your love life. And I do think that that is going to continue. However, I think that this is really going to serve you to get in touch with your emotions, and with the illusions that are blocking you from really seeing clearly who you are and what you want. The magic mirror in this deck is the moon, and we have a mirror here, so there is this added element of extra illusion, and all these kind of hands. There are different hands in this card as well, and I feel like there have been many hands in your life in kind of the formation of your view on who you are, where you should be going in life, what you should be doing, how you should be acting, what's going to make you happy. And I think this time is going to be a really introspective time for you, where you're able to start stripping back a lot of those pieces and saying, okay, well, I don't know if this actually makes me happy. Like, society is telling me that I need to find a partner who, has a house or makes X amount of money a year or looks a certain way. And I think you're really going to be looking inward and thinking to yourself, like, well, maybe I thought that 2 years ago, but now I'm really more concerned with somebody who shows up when they say they're going to. Or I would rather have a partner that wants to support my dreams as well, as opposed to somebody who is going to go out and make all this money and I'm going to be sitting at home raising their kids or something like that. And that's not to say that, like, every single one of your preferences is going to change, right? Like, but I think the ones that are damaging to you or are not a true reflection of who you are and what you desire, I think those are going to be stripped away. I think they're going to be burned away a little bit. And in this kind of transfer of heat back and forth, I see this kind of as like an inner transformation for you. A lot of these things are going to be stripped away, and you're going to emerge from this period having a much more solid understanding of who you are and what you're looking for. And I just want to say, like, don't be afraid of this period. Don't be afraid to be alone for a while. It's not going to be forever. I don't really see this as I don't see this as the next, you're not going to get married for another 10 years or something like that. I think this is something that you've been in for a while and you've been impatient about. And I know the absolute worst thing that you can hear is somebody telling you to be patient. However, there's a reason for this process, and your spirits are really telling you there is a reason. We've got your back, and just know that you are healing right now. And you are taking those lessons and incorporating them. And once you're done incorporating them, you're going to come out and be able to attract the partner for your highest good. Like, if you went out right now and you tried to date, or somebody came into your life, they're not going to make sense for you in another 2 years. They're not going to be able to grow with you. They're going to be one of these little babies in this circle. Like, they're just not at the same level of spiritual growth. And so it's going to take you some time to find somebody who's at that same level as you. But once you do, they're going to be able to grow with you and move with you through life in a way that is much more healing and fulfilling than if you had a relationship where you were always like 2 or 3 steps ahead. Okay, so we are going to wrap up here with a little bit of advice. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me a piece of advice that's really going to help pile 1 with their career and finances, and then 1 for love as well. I like this deck because the cards truly fly out of it. And it kind of makes me really happy. They're kind of laminated. Okay, so for career and finance, your piece of advice is I am charismatic. Expression comes naturally to you. You are very skilled at communicating your thoughts through conversation and creative pursuits. You are able to get others on board with your ideas. I think this really speaks to the fact that, like, you're kind of a badass at work, and really ties in with you really sitting back and thinking about how you use that charisma and how you use your speech at work. The more you can be in that King of Swords energy, and really make sure that when you're communicating, they're the right thoughts that are going out, and having kind of boundaries between your personal and your professional life, that's really going to help you move forward in your career. And people are going to see you as that charismatic person, like damn, like I didn't notice before. You know, a lot of times when we have a lot to say all the time, it's kind of like information overload for people. But if you start cutting down your contributions to things that are just really, really on point, like little darts, people are gonna start like sitting back and being like, damn, Pile One's really smart. But like Pile One always has like the most on point, useful, valuable thing to say. And they'll start taking notice of that. Okay, over on love side, we have I am creator, 000. You are one with the creator, and there are no limits to what you can achieve. You have the ability to create something new and incredible in your lifetime here on earth. I think this is really about taking advantage of that alone time and this time of integration with self. Get to know yourself. Healers are creators in this world in a lot of ways. You can speak things into the world. You can also have a huge impact just by being a healed person. And I think this is a reminder for you. Like, you need to, and again, you picked quartz. Like, you need to figure out who you are and what you want. And then once you figure that out, you are going to be able to create it in this world. But I think it's really about getting in touch with your inner self in this time, so you can find out what you want, who you want to attract to your life, and how you're going to create the lasting relationship that you're looking for. Okay, and we are going to take one more piece of advice just to wrap up. Okay, we have Sekhmet, courage, truth, shadow work. Okay, I just peeked into the book for this deck because this card comes out very rarely for me, and I really wanted to be able to do it justice. So I think this is a really cool card to get along with this spread. Sekhmet is about diving into your shadow work and your deepest, darkest inner truths. I think this is what you're being called to do, especially on your love and relationship side. But I feel like this side is more for you, really about self-worth, and self-work. And on your career and finances side, you have the tiger. And the tiger talks about bravery and getting in touch with like your inner truths, and having that fire bring them to life. And the tiger has a little moon on its third eye. Sekhmet is sitting on a lion. Um, you, let's tip it so you can see it. These cards are gilded and so beautiful, but it's really hard to get them on camera sometimes. And this is a moon goddess deck. So I think she's really calling to both sides. Be fearless, be brave. Sometimes being brave and fearless means not voicing everything and using that energy to go within and really do that deep self-work. I'm really excited for you in the next month. I think that this is going to be a challenging month, but it's going to be challenging in a really good way. And you're really setting the foundations to build a future that you're really looking for. And the first step for you is using that energy that you have to really go internally, instead of focusing on other people and trying to help them grow instead. So I hope that this is a really amazing month for you. I hope you'll come back next month or watch any of my other videos for more advice. It's been really fun to hang out with you. So I hope you have a great week, month, year, whenever you're watching this. And I hope you'll come and hang out with me soon. Also, if you liked this video, please comment, like, subscribe. That really helps me so much. And if you resonated in particular with any of this spread, please comment down and let me know. I would love to hear your feedback and how it made an impact. So thanks, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you picked the center card with this piece of red jasper, then this is your reading. Okay. So before I show you this card, I don't want to freak you out right now. The card that I pulled for your energy for the next month is the empty room. When I was shuffling the decks in between this reading and the previous reading, some cards were like flashing through when I was shuffling. One was Oya from the Voodoo, or the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Oya is my mom in Osha, and she's wind, she's air, she is the lightning, she is sudden and swift change. And when I was shuffling the Animal Spirit Oracle, I saw the octopus, which also came out in the previous reading, but also the butterfly. I feel like for you, you are going through a period where you have suffered some sort of profound loss. And I feel a lot of sadness from you. I think this was something that was very meaningful. The octopus tells me that you put a lot of energy into it, and that energy wasn't necessarily returned. It was like an overextension of self in a lot of ways. And I think when this ended, this left you feeling like you are this empty room. Like so much of your time and your energy had gone into like a person or a situation, that when it was over, it felt like you've kind of been cut adrift. Like you don't really know where to invest your energy and what to do. I think this is your current energy, and we'll look into the cards to see how much this is changing over the next month. But I do think it is going to change. The butterfly is about blossoming and change, and Oya is the change maker. And I think those are really comforting messages for you to know that this isn't going to be forever. I think this time it has a specific purpose for you. I was also hearing the song Loner by Alice in Wonderland, and just the line, if I'm such a creator, why can't I make you? and I'm a loner, I'm alone now, it's okay to cry. Um, I really feel like these tears have a purpose, and something beautiful is going to be created from them. So I want you to know that, as you're seeing this card, because it is such a sad card, but at the same time, if you have an empty room, you have so much space to fill. Like, something has been cleared out of your life, and there was a purpose to it, and now you have so much more room for happiness, and that happiness will come. Okay, so I'm gonna pull an oracle just to complement this and get a little bit more information about how it's changing in the next month. Okay, that's too many, but okay. The two cards that I'm not going to keep these cards, but Earth School says life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. So let's shuffle this bad boy once, and then look for our change card. But I think your soul is learning and growing a lot from this situation, and you are going to be able to fill that space in your life with something that's really meaningful. Okay, so your next card, and it's interesting. It really looks like an extension of this card with these two night skies. The Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love. I think for this card, I am going to pull from, let's see. I want to read a little bit more about this card and see if that's helpful, so I can do it justice. Okay, this is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others in the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. Okay. I think there was a lot of valuable information in that book. I normally don't read those in the middle of the readings. But I think there might be a lot of fear for you in allowing this empty room to be filled again. Like, this might be a little bit of a self-inflicted I don't want to say severing, because I think that whatever left needed to go. I think your spirits really want you to know that. Like, it was the right choice. But I think they really want you to also know that our past does not dictate our future. And just because something went poorly once does not mean that everything after will also go poorly. And I think you have a lot of fear and anxiety for letting happiness back in your life because it might be taken away again. But it's really important to let that happiness in, because you have this big, beautiful universe within you, and you have a lot of room for love. It's just a matter of letting someone back in, and letting the people around you fill it, and finding the right ones that are going to be able to contribute happiness to your life as opposed to pulling it away. Okay, so we're going to dig into your career and finances on the left, and then into your love life on the right in the coming month. And to do that, I'm going to pull animal oracles for each side. I do also feel like you felt a little bit aimless as well, looking at this kind of meandering water going through. And I think that's energy that's changing. I think that you're going to find a path forward, that helps you fill this space in your life, and you're going to get a lot more clarity on how to do that in this coming month. I kind of feel that like pretty strongly. Okay, spirits, can you please provide some information about Pile 2's career and finances in this coming month? And another message too. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of, okay. Too many cards, muertos. Too many cards. I'm getting a message, especially with that fire ant coming out, like if you have kind of like pent up energy, finding a creative outlet for that so it doesn't spill out into your life. Hey, come hang out with me on YouTube. Like, watch some tarot. I mean, not a lot. I feel like you can watch too much. ASMR. Find something that like calms you down and kind of gets you grounded. I think there are beautiful Reiki ASMR channels. Adia ASMR I think is great. Reiki Healing Hope. I think those might be helpful to check out, especially if you are feeling a little bit isolated or you don't know how to fill your time. I think, you know, until you figure out like how you want to create the types of connections that you want in your life, or if you just are struggling a little bit with loneliness, that can help. And then maybe like group exercise classes too. Okay, and this is coming out for love, so this one's came out real quick. So I'm going to take on, we have the scorpion and the turtle. Okay, and before we start talking about career side, I am going to pull a couple tarot cards. Muertos, can we just get like one or two at a time, please? I know you chatty. So let's get into your career and finances for the next month. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that I think this has something to do with, breakup or whatever energy has caused you to kind of retreat. Is I think that in your, this could be school as well. I'm kind of getting like maybe you socialize either with coworkers or with schoolmates a lot, um, and in your job, I feel like you may have been attracted to a group of people like based on either their popularity or their looks, or like not. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Like you're attracted to them not because of the people that they are, but because like something about their life like seems fun. Or maybe this is the group of coworkers that like always goes out for happy hour after work. Um, and and this is spirit telling you like these probably are not the best people for you to be around right now. Like these experiences with these people are probably contributing to like your feelings of being isolated and feeling a little bit empty right now. And spirit saying that if there is a group of people that is not aligned with who you are on the inside, be very careful with them in the next month or so, um, because there's a potential if you invest your time in these people, um, that it's going to contribute to your feelings of emptiness or inadequacy, or depression right now. The reason why I'm saying this, so we have the wild card here, Lay Barons, and in this deck, this really talks about transmuting really heavy energies and being able to find cheerfulness within them. And I think that depending on who you are around, it's really going to impact your ability to actually transmute that energy and find that positivity, like that rainbow at the end, or that gold pot at the end of the rainbow. um, if you see in this card, this person's holding a headstone and they're smoking and laughing, and walking upstairs. They're walking up, and I think that I'm thinking this too because when I was shuffling that deck, the first chunk that came out, the fire ant, was the first card. Um, and I feel like there's situations at work where people can get kind of gossipy, um, and dig into other people's business. And whatever happened to you was extremely devastating. And I don't feel like they will treat it with the respect that you really need right now. So I think like separating yourself from people who you know are gossipy or a little bit untrustworthy right now will really help you. Like confide in people close to you that you know you can trust. Um, the Princess of Water came out, so Princess of Cups, and the princess in this deck is, princesses are responsible for cleaning and caring for temple, and preparing for initiation sacraments. They're really like the foundation of the religious community, in this deck, and it's in reverse. So I feel like there is, again, like there's a lot of potential for gossip here and people's words, to cut you in a way that's a little bit unexpected. Um, this last card, I really just can't pronounce all these French words, but it's Simpi Delo, um, is the Eight of Cups. And I see this kind of in two different ways. So first off, in this deck, this talks about miscommunication, um, the inability to talk about feelings and have that communication come out in the way that you intend, and also unintended consequences from conversations that kind of go a little sideways, or like your words don't have the impact that you really want them to. And it's also the Eight of Cups. So I think it is a reminder, like, to walk away from situations that aren't filling our cup. And especially walk away from situations that aren't filling our cup when we're really at a point where we're struggling. Um, you have a lot of potential. I do feel like deep down, you're an optimistic person. And I think that focusing on the relationships that really fill that cup will help you get back to your optimistic frame of mind. And also the last thing you want, because Mars energy does talk about conflict, and the fire ant also talks about conflict, and the scorpion can talk about like lashing out a little bit without meaning to. So I think this is also just a reminder to choose your words carefully, to really focus on what you're saying and make sure that you're really patient with your words, and make sure that they have the impact that you're looking for. So that's what I'm seeing in your career and finances. I think it more talks about like the social aspects of work as opposed to actual work. But it seems like you're in an environment where those two are kind of meshed together. So just be careful. Be careful around people's intentions right now, and definitely look like a layer deeper at how people are coming at you and why, and just be discerning. I think this is really about a message about discernment as opposed to really anything else. Just protect yourself in this time. Okay, we're going to pop over to the love side. Okay. Oh. So your first card is the Star, and it's a little baby inside of an egg. Which, this is just one of my favorite cards in any deck. Okay, sorry, I had to kind of bounce out for a second because an alarm went off on my phone. But I was just laughing because this Three of Wands comes out in almost every single reading of mine. Only in this deck. Okay, so this is kind of a cool energy. It's not... It's not going to be immediately apparent to you like what is happening in your life. Let's talk a little bit about this Israeli La Flambeau card. This is the Seven of Wands. And Seven of Wands talks a lot about internal struggles. I think the biggest thing that you are going to be dealing with in your love life is internally. It's really getting back out there. It's really allowing this Three of Wands and this Star energy to manifest in your life again. And the colors between the Petro and the Turtle card are just, I mean, this is just speaking to me right now. Like, look at that. Like, those cards are so similar. So I guess we should talk about the Turtle and the Scorpion. This was upright, this was reversed before we talk about the Tarot. I just got a little bit excited. Okay, so the Scorpion talks, like, it talks about being a light. And scorpions in the traditional sense are like a little bit aggressive, right? But that's not really what this card is about. Scorpions, like, look at this big light coming out of its tail. I think you have the ability to be a ray of sunshine. But if you're very upset, like, that fire can come out in unexpected ways. And I think that's what the Mars energy is talking about as well. Um, so just first and foremost, like this comes out in an unexpected way because you haven't processed something that you need to process. And I think the key here to getting to this like adventurous, happy, swimming, grounded energy, like this also has a lot of red, and you picked a stone that's all about grounding. Um, I think that's going to get you back into like your normally more positive mindset, is really figuring out like how you've gotten hurt, forgiving yourself for whatever happens. You don't have to forgive the other person, right? In your mind, though, you can say, like, I forgive you, thank you for the lesson, and not like, bye. That's always an option, too, you know? Use your own discernment, but I think that's really what's blocking you from moving forward and being adventurous and putting yourself back out there, is really processing what energy and the situation that got you into this kind of like bereft and combative energy. Um, and I think the inner work that you're going to do in that transition is really what's going to allow you to move forward. This says really card. She is grinding stone masa with her feet, and it's all about a grinding process, like grinding you down, like for your own benefit and for your growth. Like when there's nothing left, when that corn is just masa, then it can be made into food to feed people. So there's a reason for going through this internal process. And I think this internal process is really going to connect you to your destiny. Zatola is about destiny, healing. The star is also about a lot of healing and hope. And then we also have this like aggressively sexual card here for you in your love spread, which I'm all for. And it's the Three of Wands. Like you're gonna be watching at the end and watching these ships or watching these turtles swim. But I think this is going to help you get back to your fiery, passionate self. I do see, you know, this empty room energy is temporary. This is not forever. And I think in the next month, if you really do work on integrating those lessons, and it seems like these lessons are coming from your love life, you are going to get back to your happy self. And the message overall is just protect yourself. Make sure you're not in situations where you could potentially lash out and damage a relationship. It seems like there is a potential for that here. Just be very discerning at who you're talking to. Make sure it's people who really lift you up as opposed to drag you back down. Like you're trying to fill your cup right now, not allow people to take from it. Okay, let's wrap up with some advice. We're going to take one for your career side and then one for love. And then we'll wrap up with a final piece of advice. Oh my gosh. Your spirits are just really, they're on it today. Okay, you have 1010 for career, patience, and then I am positive, 6-6 for love. Okay, so patience, again, like we'll read this out. So keep your thoughts positive and be patient as everything is working out for your highest good. Trust that your angels are working behind the scenes to help you. Trust in them, be patient. Don't put yourself in circumstances where you could potentially lash out or get frustrated. I feel like you're around some people who are kind of enmeshed in your personal life at work, and that might create complications for you. So just kind of hang back for a little bit. And make sure that, you know, what you share with them isn't something that they could unknowingly or, you know, mistakenly like hurt you by spreading the information or, you know, making a comment that maybe they think is helpful, but really ends up just being hurtful to you. Like that's kind of the miscommunication that I see on that side. 6-6. I am positive. Your guardian angel is teaching you the essence of unconditional love. You are encouraged to have faith that the universe will provide for you while you are manifesting your inner desires. This work is going to get you back into that positive frame of mind. And I think as a reminder that your angels are here. And if you have nothing external to fill that empty room with, you have your own unconditional love for yourself. And I think that message is really powerful here. Fill this empty room up with love for you. You're an amazing person and you deserve it. Oh my God. Okay, well this deck just spit out another card. I wasn't looking for that deck, but I'll take it. I am diplomatic. Again, your spirits are really, really, really stressing the way that you express yourself this month. Make sure that whatever you say and how you say it is how you intend it. Because there is a huge potential here for words that you say to have unintended consequences, and to come out in ways that you don't really mean them to. Like that's literally what the Scorpion is talking about. So just be very, very careful. Sit back, think about what you say before you say it. So 2, you have great talent for finding solutions. Your intuitive and unbiased nature allow you to see all sides of any situations and advise others towards the most fair and beneficial outcome. Be fair in the way that you communicate and think first before you speak. Okay, last card to wrap this up. Crescent moon. Keep moving forward. You got this. Your spirits are here telling you, yes, it may feel like it sucks right now, and this is not a fun energy to be in. Like, they recognize that. They know that. There's a purpose for this. And this purpose is really to connect you back to the star energy, to your purpose, and get you back in a more positive and fun frame of mind. And this is them really, oh, and this lady needs she needs a vanity stone. Just keep at it. You got this. Like you really, really do. There's nothing in this spread that says that you are not going to make it out of this room. You are. And you've got really great things coming forward for you. This turtle is all about adventure. I think in particular, really cool things are going to happen for you in your love life. Maybe not this month, but this is like preparation work to really welcome something new and something fun, adventurous, light, good into your life, especially after you've gone through something really difficult. So this is your reading for the next coming month. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for bearing with my alarm going off. Maybe I can cut that out. Maybe I can't. We'll see. But I really appreciate that you're here. You spent time with me. My heart goes out to you. Know that this is temporary energy. This will change. And I hope you'll come and hang out with me again. Please like or comment or subscribe. If you feel called to, if you resonated with the pile and want to give me feedback, would love that as well. And no matter when you see this, again, your spirits are behind you. They're supporting you. I'm here supporting you. And you're going to make it through this really tough time. So all love coming out to you right now. So I hope you have a great next month and hope you come back to see me soon. Thanks. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose a little piece of the piece, then this is your reading. So the oracle card that you got that was the Lover. She's a cute little swan. Some red behind her. Orange and red, very fiery, very full of love. Um, this card really speaks to me right now, like in more of kind of like a universal love sense. Um, this card is really about being present, about being able to appreciate beauty, art, kind of the finer things in life. And it's really about like, it's almost a temporary energy. It's kind of like, say you're on a continuum and dark on one side, light in the other. And we're always kind of trying to find balance between light and dark, but we're going to shift to different sides. And I feel like this card is really about shifting more towards the light than maybe like our base equilibrium. And it's when we're really able to be present, and see things in the world that maybe we weren't able to see before. So I think it's a really cool energy where you're going to be very appreciative of the things that you have, and you're going to notice the small things more. Like if somebody holds a door for you, if a kid gives you a compliment, like I'm seeing like your child or like a nephew or a niece, just telling you something that you're doing is really cool. You're gonna really be like, wow, like that is so special that that child took the time to come and compliment me. Like even just little silly things like that. I see an energy of appreciation, and I feel like this kind of is coming after a tough time as well, and is kind of linked to it. Like you went through a really rough period and went through a period of growth, and this is you coming out the other side and just being so thankful that you can be in that energy of love again. And it just, everything feels a little bit brand new, and everything has a little bit of that like rose tinted sunglasses aspect to it, because you're just so happy to be alive in this moment, and just have a profound sense of gratitude. And I'm kind of called to notice that it is a swan, right? So you're coming out of a period of transformation and really able to embrace the new you and really embrace the changes that is brought into your life. So very cool energy. I'm into this. I'm going to get an oracle for you to just further illustrate this energy. That song is in my head right now. Is if I could turn back time, if I could find my way. And I don't see it as like you actually like wanting to turn back time. I think that you've gained a lot of perspective through what's ever changed in your life, and you are kind of looking at it like, man, like if I had this perspective when I was younger or when I went through this situation, I would have handled it so much differently. And like I wish that I always had this perspective, but it's kind of like a catch-22, because you gain the perspective from all the experiences you went through, and like you wouldn't be here today where you are if you hadn't had those experiences. So turning back time wouldn't actually do anything. Ooh, and we gotta light a new candle. Okay, so your oracle card is Fall into My Arms. Surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Go into your home. Okay. I think this is really talking about how you have been on a journey of kind of extremes lately. And the reason why you're in this lover energy is because you have the perspective of what it's like to be in lack, or be in a environment or headspace that's more negative. Um, and you really are kind of like surrendering to the universe and surrendering to the changes that are happening in life. And you're able to kind of pull yourself out of that darkness and just find a new appreciation for life. I want to just glance through the book. It really gave some good insight into the last reading, and I think it might here as well. The Great Mother ushered you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life can be, that being human can be lonely and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be excruciating when your soul remembers the oneness of Source. But at the same time, it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. So often we see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that we're being rewarded. And when things go bad, then perhaps we've done something wrong. However, we're all here to expand and grow, and it's through the extremes of life that we do exactly that. You're being invited to welcome the highs and the lows of the human experience, to let them initiate you more fully into life, the agony and the ecstasy, the beauty and the bitterness. This life is but a single breath in the inextinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. The Great Mother wants you to hand over your loneliness, worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, burdens, and doubts, to lay them on her altar, to fall fully into her arms, to remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. The more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more truthfully you can say, I've truly lived. Yeah, I agree. And I think you're really learning to embrace those two different sides of life. You know, like you can't see the light without seeing the dark as well. And there are lessons in both. We learn just as much, if not more, probably more, definitely more for being in the negative than we do, when we're high on life and at our heights. So this is cool. This is like an energy of integration. I'm into it. Okay, we are going to pull 2 cards for you. Could be 2, could be more. Spirit's been a little chatty today. They keep on sending out chunks. I think they know it just irks me. Got some trickster spirits. Okay, so on the left, we are going to dig into your career and finances in the next month. And on the right, we're going to look at your love life. So let's see what's going on for you. Spirit, can we have a card for career and finance, please? Oh, okay, come on. Oof. I'm going to take the 2 from the floor. These ones I'm going to shuffle back in. I feel like these are right. They seem very like duality to me. They felt right. Okay. And Spirit, can we have 2 cards for love now as well? I just saw the snake. Which is really about creative potential. So curious to see what actually comes out. Now I'm hearing, do you believe in life after love? I think you're just having a share moment, which, I mean, I wish we all could live 100% in the passion and the shareness of share. And maybe that's just like where you're at right now. You're like 75 years old and vibing on stage and talking about how, okay, I guess we're taking 3 cards, Spirit, talking about how you can do like an 8-minute plank. Like, I can't even do a 30-second plank. Okay. So we are going to start by just pulling a couple tarot for your career and finances side. I think the message for the next month for career and finances is just a profound time of growth for you and of learning. The lamb is about gentle guidance. It's about being able to find truth and stillness. And sometimes it can be just kind of like an offhand comment or a random gesture from an unexpected source. And then the cobra is about a teacher and being a student of life. So you may have opportunities in this upcoming month, one where you can learn from an unexpected source, but then two, where you may be learning lessons from life that are really going to carry into the rest of your future. And just by kind of living and breathing, like you may have opportunities to pass on your knowledge to other people. Like you may be asked to mentor somebody at work, or you might like have a conversation with somebody that impacts them in a way that was unexpected. I see this as energy that's kind of flowing within you and out of you as well. Like you may be this lamb person for somebody else where you just kind of like make an offhand comment that impacts them, and you also might have that happen to you. Same thing with cobra. Like you might find a teacher in an unexpected place, and you might also become an unexpected teacher from somebody else. It's kind of cool energy. Okay, this one almost came out too, and Spirit told me to take it. Okay, I think to a certain extent, you may be evaluating your next steps right now. The World Egg is the Fool in this deck. And oh, these are a little bit off screen, so let me move them up for you so you can kind of see them a little bit more. And Ayizan is the Empress. So I see this really as you kind of gestating a little bit. I think you are in this like lover. The lover is a lot like the Empress. You know, you're kind of like reveling in beauty and seeing beauty in everything. It's almost maternal in a way, right? Like a mom is always, well, I guess not always gonna find their children beautiful, but like think about like as a baby, you know, mother's love is infinite, and I feel like you are kind of seeing the world again through those rose-colored glasses right now, and it may cause you to look at your life and how you're living it and try to figure out how you can get more of this lover or empress energy into your life. Like what changes can you make so you can preserve some of this energy? Like I think you know that this isn't going to last forever. You know, like this is a very like specific, special energy. And there's a time and a place for it, right? Like you are understanding and getting to learn about the ebbs and flows of life and how things don't always stay one certain way. Like you may be the lover in a million aspects of your life, but like that one is always kind of like on the edge, or you know, like your love light starts to take off and all of a sudden your family life is struggling. And I think for you, it's like really trying to take that energy and figure out, like, especially since this is on career and finances, how you either can pour some of that energy into work and make it more fulfilling, or you're reevaluating the career path that you've chosen and are trying to figure out what's going to fulfill you in a different way with that knowledge that you've gained. I think with the Lamb and Cobra, you are going to be taking in advice or feedback from kind of unexpected sources. And you're going to be finding some inspiration from people that you wouldn't normally expect. Like maybe you have a random conversation where somebody says something to you and you kind of mull it over and think about it. And you're like, wow, like if I looked at it that way, maybe I would be a little bit happier at work. Or you have like an offhand comment to somebody like, oh, I'm not super excited about X, Y, and Z, or like, I'm thinking about moving into a different field. And they're like, oh, well, have you checked out this? And maybe there's like an internal promotion at work that you can pursue. Or if you're in school, maybe somebody turns you on to a class that they really enjoyed that's in a subject area that you hadn't ever considered. And you decide, hey, I'm going to take this jump. So I think it's really, this new change, I don't think it's going to be earth shattering, but I do think it's going to point you in a direction where you can find more fulfillment with what you're doing right now. Legba and the Six of Swords. Legba is here. He's like a master storyteller. So I think this just enhances the communication aspect, and the fact that the Six of Swords is moving on from a turbulent time into a calmer future. And I think you're really trying to figure out like how do I take the lessons I've learned and preserve this peace and this gratitude that I feel and project it into the future as well. Hungun reversed is the King of Wands reversed. And I feel like, again, I don't think this is going to be an earth-shattering change. I think you're going to have some motivation to put this into play, but it isn't something that, like, you're not going to quit your job tomorrow and become a content creator or something like that. It's not a tower moment. It's not a shift. But I think it's like a realignment of your life in a direction that's a bit more passionate for you, where you can kind of keep some of that fire that you're experiencing right now. So very cool energy over here. I'm into it. Let's hop over to your love life side, and I will pull a couple tarot cards for you. Okay, so let's talk about these cards a little bit. So Tarantula talks about decision making, and being at a crossroads. An elephant talks about making wise decisions. I think your challenge when it comes to love in the next month is this gazelle gal right here. Gazelle talks about fearfulness and being hyper vigilant. If you've experienced trauma or had maybe like unstable caregivers growing up, something like that, that might be something that you struggle with, or just anxiety in general, if that's not necessarily the case. And I think this is really like calling to you saying, hey, it's kind of, the gazelle has very similar coloring to the lover. It's kind of a reminder saying, hey, remember, like, you can trust. You're in this energy of love right now. Like, you went through the hard part. Now you want to reap the benefits of what you've learned. And this tarantula is saying, okay, well, you have a decision here. Like, you can live in love and you can trust that you're going to make a wise decision for yourself, or you can be held back by your own fear. And I think life is really guiding you towards, making this decision and being able to be comfortable with the fact that life is about polarity. Decisions aren't going to be 100% good or 100% bad. Like, even a really great decision can have unintended consequences or can cause pain. And it's not something that you really need to worry about. Like, when we're focusing so much on our fear, that means we're projecting fears into the future. We're not actually sitting with our feelings in the moment, and making a true and just evaluation. We're theorizing that something might happen and making a decision based on that. So I think your challenge here is to sit with the information that you have and with this new perspective that you've gained, and use that. Like, this is, the elephant has a little gem on its third eye and is holding fire. Like, use all of that intuitive force that you've just developed to make your decision. Because eventually you're going to have to make one. And I think, like, the trick is, like, if your anxiety prevents you from making a decision, you are actually making a decision not to pursue something. So either way, you're going to make a decision. So you might as well actively make one, if that makes sense. Okay. Whoop. Well, 4 cards came out, so I guess we're taking 4 for the right as well. I don't know what's up with this shuffling today. I'm just going to take the chunks. Okay. You got some energies here. Okay, Santeria is the Queen of Pentacles in this deck. So you may have somebody who's coming in who is more on the reserve side, definitely very abundant. I'm getting the sense that this person may keep kind of to themselves. Hunsis is the Princess of Swords, and princesses in this deck are really, they're really dedicated to, like, they're almost like the pillars of spiritual practice. They prepare for all the initiations. They're the ones who kind of take care of the temples. In this card, this princess is cleaning. I think these are basically like ceremonial pots that holds consecrated items or spirits. And I think this person, like, is going to be a bit reserved, and maybe might not match your level of fire. And I think this might cause like a little bit of hesitancy with you, because they seem to be kind of opposite, and the princess and the gazelle have very similar colors. And so I think this might be a challenge to you to view things with love instead of with fear, and really get to the heart of who this person is and what their intentions are. I don't see bad intentions here. I think this just might be somebody who is more in touch with their feminine energy than you're used to, whether they're male or female. And that might put you off a little bit. And it seems like they're going to be very focused on taking care of business. And that might mean that it takes attention away from you. And that might be something that's a little bit uncomfortable as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it's like bad or wrong or they're going to neglect you. It's just going to be a different energy than you've previously experienced. And I think this is natural, right? Like, if you've just gone through a transformative period and you're coming out the other side, you're going to be attracting something different. You actually want to attract something different. So I think that's one thing to take note of in the next month. I think the way that you really get through this is you get clear on your desires and what happiness means for you. So Manman Brigitte is the 3 of Cups. And in this deck, it's less about kind of like friendship and celebration. It's almost about like celebrating life by going internally, by being able to be still and quiet. And I think you're going to have a balance of both. You're going to have a balance of coming out and being more jovial and more joyful, but also being able to go within and find this really rich inner world. And I think that's going to help you make the decision that you need to make. The next card here is possession, and this is the Chariot in this deck. And so the Chariot, when it's upright, has balance and duality to it. In a way, this energy that you're in, being in the Lover energy, is kind of skewed more positively, right? Like, you're not necessarily like fully in balance with light and dark. And I do think you're aware of this right now. So there, again, like, I think there is a tendency to look through rose-colored glasses and right in this moment, because you're in this kind of high. And I think you're going to take a look at this person who's coming into your life and wonder if you're in balance and you are looking at this person through rose-colored glasses, especially since the energy is just off from what you're used to. And again, I think this is a good off, a stable off. Like, maybe you've been really used to unstable energy, but I do think this is going to it's going to provoke some fear within you. So I see the Chariot here as just further confirmation that the way that you get yourself in balance and get a really clear picture of who this is by sitting with yourself, figuring out how you feel, deciding if you are making a decision based on rational choice or based on a very fearful mentality. And I think that's going to give you a lot of clarity. And I think you can trust your decision making. I think maybe in the past, decisions have been difficult for you. When I was reading about the elephant, I kept on seeing Elewa instead of elephant, and Elewa is about opening doors. And I think you have the power right now to open whatever door you want. You just want to make sure you open the right one, and that's totally natural. But make sure you're opening a door and not just default opening something, like making a choice that you don't want because you're too scared to make a decision. So that's my advice for your love section. We are going to move on to advice for career and for love, and then we will do one piece of advice just for kind of your overall message as well. And now is the challenge where I lose my cards. Always. Every time. Okay. Spirits, what is your piece of advice for pile 3 for career? And then let's do love at the same time too. And for love. These are snapping through really quickly, and I feel like at some point your spirits are going to be like, okay, time's a ticking, like, make a decision, please. Decide what you want. Tell us what you want. I kind of get that vibe from them right now, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so 19, I am a pioneer. Independence and self-sufficiency are necessities to you. You are extremely capable in life and in work, and aren't afraid to take big risks to achieve the life you desire. Love this. I think this is like a clarification of this advice almost. It's like, yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of information from other people and maybe in like weird ways during this next month. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the one who makes a decision about what you should do. So definitely take the time to really like sit with this information, like how we talked about you kind of like reviewing your life and your path and figuring out a way to integrate this energy more into your life so you can preserve some of it. I think you may be making decisions that other people don't quite understand at times. So just remember that not all advice is good advice. Like at the end of the day, you are going to make an intuitive decision. You know, I'm going to point out this crystal: mind, throat, and heart chakra. Like you're going to be aligning all 3 of those and making a decision, right? Like, and And communicating is going to be really important for you as well. We have a lot of communication in here just with messages, and then we also have choices over here. So I think it's just important, like, don't let people yuck your yum. Figure out what you want to do and what makes you happiest, and then do that. And just be discerning with the messages that you're receiving, and make sure that they actually align with you. Okay, over on the love side, 333. I am powerful. And 3 summed up is, oh yeah, 9, love it. Okay. You are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. Okay, you are in this lover energy because you just went through something real. And you've gotten a lot of lessons, and you've been able to integrate them. Now, you need to show the world how to do that. And the best way to teach and use your gifts and be a light worker is to be a light for others. And this is further confirmation. Don't let your fear stand in the way of you taking a leap of faith and taking the next step. And it's always a decision based on stillness within you. Like, there has to be a calling to it, right? You're not just like willy-nilly, like running and making a decision. But I think, again, this is 3-3's head, heart, and throat all united. Like, you're going to be making a decision and taking a step that really unites all these sides of you. And it is going to be a blessing for other people to see as well. It's going to be something that's beautiful in your life and also spills out into other people's lives too. So very cool energy for that. We are going to finish with one. This gal wants me to shuffle her, so let's do it. We're going to finish with one more card. And then cut. Ooh, okay. One more card for your advice. Full moon. Harvest the fruits of your hard work. Hell yeah. You just went through something. Like, you just went through it. And enjoy this time. Enjoy this lover energy. This just... Oh, she needs a vanity crystal too. Oh no. There you go, little gal. I feel like I need to make them little like cut out clothes that I can put on. But you are in this energy for a reason. You've just gone through a tough time. Enjoy it. Be grateful. See the beauty in life. Like, really just soak up this moment, because energy is always in flux. Energy changes. You know, things will happen that will take you up and down in life, and it's really about figuring out how to create more and more peace for yourself and how to integrate the lessons so our swings get smoother and less hectic over time. And I think your spirits are just really proud of you, and they really want you to have a good damn time. And it seems like, you know, whether this person that is coming in is ultimately your person, or whether they're here for a moment, here to teach you a lesson, I think the biggest piece of this is you are attracting a different type of partner, and you are attracting a partner that is more stable, and I think is more aligned with who you are as a person and where you're going. And that just in and of itself is absolutely beautiful. And you are also learning to trust your own decision and make decisions, not from a place of fear, but from a place of alignment within you. And that is even more beautiful. So I am really stoked on this energy for all of you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope this resonated. If it did, or you just want to leave me a comment of support, likes, comments, follows, they all help me out. I'm so grateful to have you here. I really enjoyed reading your cards today. This was really beautiful. I hope you'll come back and see me again. And until then, really take care and just live it up. This is some beautiful energy. Okay, well, I will see you soon.